Hello again. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Andrea Bertones, responsible for the nutrition area at Fisiolution Centers. Today's video is going to consist of giving you a series of recommendations, tricks, and tips to mobilize or release the burden of constipation. Mobilize or release that burden that is constipation. Having constipation is not only uncomfortable, but it is also detrimental to our health. When you go a day, 2, or even several days without going to the toilet, all the feces we haven't gotten rid of, the toxins that compose those feces will be reabsorbed by our organism and will reach our body, and they will reach our liver. Liver. This will overload the liver, which is one of the most important organs and has more functions for our health. These are the factors that will influence our intestinal transit, but diet and supplements are going to be key to have a correct intestinal transit. The first thing we have to talk about is the types of laxatives that are on the market today. We have chemical laxatives, which are composed of substances or active ingredients that are anthracenones. These laxatives should be avoided at all costs, since they irritate our intestine and generate a dependency. That is to say, if we do not take them, we do not go to the toilet. The second laxatives we are going to talk about are osmotic laxatives. These laxatives would be a little bit better. Why? Because what they do is that in our large intestine, reduce water absorption. Absorption of a lot of water. This way that water stays in our intestine, hydrating our stool and making it easier to eliminate. And finally, the mechanical laxatives, which are composed of soluble fiber. What this soluble fiber does is that it fills with water around itself and facilitates that all this water arrives until our large intestine hydrates our feces and we can eliminate them. These mechanical laxatives would be the first choice. We are going to talk about 3 remedies to treat constipation, for which we are going to use different ingredients. Let me introduce them. On the one hand, flax seeds. Flax seeds have an important part of soluble fiber. What we have commented is a kind of bat that is cold, which swells with water and favors the formation of the intestinal bolus and therefore elimination of our feces. We are also going to talk about chia. Has the same mechanism of action. Works like flax seeds. Plums, the false plums that we all know from all our lives, very rich in pectin, also soluble fiber. And let's also talk about magnesium carbonate. This would be one of the osmotic laxatives. What we have said, that the water was not being absorbed in the intestine and the stool would come out more hydrated and softer. Let's go on to elaborate the recipe. Let's discuss magnesium carbonate. It's very simple. You can buy it directly. It is a white powder. It is magnesium. Therefore, it is also good for many other functions within our body. For example, for muscle relaxation, in case of having a lot of stress, of having muscle contractions, among many other functions that magnesium has. How are we going to use it? Nothing. Very simple. We put half a glass of water, and we are going to take 2 dessert spoonfuls of it. At night, we take it and we take it before going to bed. It is especially indicated for people who have very hard stools, very compact, and are very difficult to eliminate. Even in some cases, they can even make small wounds, and it is not pleasant at all. The second recipe, we are going to take the flax seeds and we are going to put 2 teaspoons of dessert in half a glass of water. We take the plums, and it is very important to make some cuts to the plums to facilitate the exit of the pectin. We leave it to soak during the whole night, this preparation. And in the morning when we wake up fasting, without having taken anything, we take the mixture of the water with the seeds and the plums. Drink the entire preparation. The liquid, the seeds, and the plums. These plums can be bought with bone, or if not, pitted. It is necessary to take it into account in case they have bone, to be careful not to hurt us. And the third tip, we are going to use the chia seeds. We are going to put them in half a glass of water. 2-3 tablespoons of chia. These should be full. We'll soak them overnight and take them in the morning. And we are going to take them in the morning also on an empty stomach. This is the texture they will have. Smaller size. Our seeds, once they have been soaked, it is a gelatinous texture. Some people may not like this texture too much. In that case, we would go to the magnesium carbonate. What I can tell you is that it does not have any flavor, and therefore this can be a positive point. We can add a dash of orange juice to make it richer, like marmalade. And it will be like a marmalade. I hope that these recommendations and that this video has been of interest to you. And nothing, if you liked it, give it a like, subscribe, and see you in the next video. Bye.